Can you make a video intro for your YouTube channel using Camtasia Studio? I just made one just like this, and today I'm going to show you how. Let's get inside and get started. Welcome back to James Pruitt, and I am here to help you build your YouTube channel. If you like that kind of content, make sure you click the subscribe button below and come back and check out all of our latest content. Today I'm going to show with you a simple video intro that you can quickly make to help your videos stand out. They're short, they're sweet, and they're very, very simple and easy to make. I'm going to show you how I made mine today with Camtasia Studio. I learned how to make this by watching Daniel Batal's videos. He showed how to do this in Filmora. I use Camtasia Studio, so I had to take his idea and figure out how to do it in Camtasia. So we're going to show you how I did this today, right now. Let's go take a look. So what we're going to do is now we're going to open up all of our media files. So you see I have my logo and I have the video clip that I want to use opened up already in Camtasia Studios. I just made the logo in Canva, and I picked up this video clip on Pixelday. It's actually a video clip of the state capital of Texas, which is where I'm from. I thought that was a cute homage to our hometown. The big thing right here, you want to make sure that you use clips that contrast with the background, because that's going to make it stand out a lot more. So what we want to do is we have all of our stuff open up, and we're going to just start bringing the stuff that we want and go to our annotations and put these down on our timeline. We're going to grab this one right here, and we're just going to put it over here on our timeline so that we can help us start. Now we want to just put in our name for our logo. You can put your website or your channel name, whatever you want to brand yourself with. I'm branding myself under my own name, so that's what I'm using here. And we're just going to try to maximize the size of it. We're going to blow it up to change the size as well as the font, and blow it up as much as I can to make it the most legible possible. Now we're going to go to our fonts over here on the right hand side. We're going to go through and we're going to choose the Impact font. That's the font that I want to use for this logo. It's one of the ones that's going to give us the biggest openings is what we have. Some programs have different fonts available, so that's what we're going to use here. Now we're going to set it up and we're going to start moving things around. We're going to kind of size things up, minimize the text box as much as we can without shrinking down the size, and then we're going to just bring in the logo. We're going to have to resize and reposition our logo a few times. It takes a little bit of trial and error to get it just where you want it. One of the things you can do, just overlay it over your name so that you can size it to fit. I want the top and bottom of the logo to line up with the top and bottom of my name. So we put it there, and then we're going to just drag it and drop it right back to where we actually want it to show up on the timeline. And you see the little grid line shows up to help me make sure everything's centered. Once we get it set, now we can go back over to our annotations again, and we're going to pick up just a straight drop line. We're going to put a couple of these over on our timeline, and now we can use those to give me those lines on top and on bottom. We're going to drag them out, size them to where I want them, and it's not perfectly lined up yet. We're going to take care of that in just a few minutes. We're going to resize the second line, and you see those grid lines that pop up as I'm moving things around. That makes it really easy to make sure you have things lined up where you want it. I use those all the time whenever I'm editing in Camtasia. And we're going to set the thickness to the lines. You just go to the right hand side and click the little slider for thickness, and that will help you readjust your thicknesses. You want to make sure that that top and bottom line have the same thickness and keep it lined up, and we'll do that again here in just a second. We're going to line this up now, make sure that line is nice and straight. And now we also want the top and the bottom bar to have the same thickness, so we're going to adjust that. And what you can do is you can just set your thickness And then once you get your thickness set the way you want it, change the colors. You want everything on this layout to be the same color because we're going to remove that color in the next step. So let's go ahead and set everything to the same blank white color, and this way it's going to make it a lot easier to use the chroma key feature in a few minutes and reset everything to be the same. Once we get that done, now we want the intro behaviors, and we want to set how the text is going to move. There's a lot of different options. We're going to try this reveal, and then we're going to make some customizations to it as we go. But there's a lot of different options you can do. You can do driftings, jumps, and falls. You can do pulsating. We're going to use the reveal and just drag it and drop it over onto our screen so that we can adjust our name. We drop it right on top of our name. Then you can go to the right hand side over here and you can set all of your adjustments, and you can set it however you want it to look. Just takes a little trial and error. Drop it onto our logo. Do it on your lines as well. And that was pretty cool looking, but I want them to come in from each side. So we're going to actually change that and go and make some other adjustments. Look at it, see how it lines up, see how it fades in, see how it moves. And we're going to just make some minor tweaks as we go to the way it looks and slides in and out. So we're going to go right here to the right hand side. We're going to do ease out from left to right. We're going to move it to right to left for the text, so the text will actually come in from the other side. Play it again, and there we go. Now it eased in the way I want it to look, while that logo pops in from the left and the text comes in from the right. Now we're also going to adjust that intro for the bars on top and bottom, and we want those two to match. You can adjust the speed at which they come in. You also want to adjust the middle and the ending, which we'll get to that in just a second. We're going to continue making those adjustments. Now you see where it says during and out. You can change how that reveal is going to go once it's all in place. So we're going to go to during. We're just going to show none, and then we're going to go to the out and select none. That way, because really all I want the animation is on the intro, not as it goes through. You can set these however you want. This is just what I'm doing for my example. Now you want to make sure you do all of your elements the same. So you go back and do both bars, do the text, and you do your logo, so that they all have the same patterns, or however you want it to look, however you want it to go. Maybe you want one of them to go in and out differently. It's up to you really how you customize this, but there's a lot of options available. Select that to none. We're selecting all of the different elements and just getting everything backed up. Now we're going to replay it, check it out, and see how it looks. We're looking at everything. There it is. A nice ease in, brightens up, and then sets there. Again, this whole clip is only about 10 seconds long. Then we're going to do the custom production, and we're going to export it as a new custom production. We're going to make sure you leave the watermark off because you don't want that watermark showing up. You do want to set everything to the highest quality and the highest bit rate you can for this part, because you're going to be using it as a copy here in just a little bit. You can name it whatever you want. I just did mine Live Logo JP Part 1 so that I could easily find it. And then you got your screen right there, pops up, so you can actually, once it's produced, you can test it, see how it looks. Now you want to go back and clear everything off of your timeline, and we're going to import the clip that we just recorded so we can use that as our base. And we're going to go to Live Logo JP Part 1. Just import the MP4 file and drag that down to your timeline. Now once you get it on there, you can just remove all empty tracks. I want to put it on track 2. This way we're going to put the background layer on track 1 and just drag it down and drop it in there. You can see that video clip is a lot longer than what I need. I can figure out where I want to, what part of that clip I want to show up underneath, and just line things up, and then I can just trim things off the front and off the end to move it around to where I want it. As you can see, now everything comes up, it fades in. But now I want to go and remove the color. So I'm going to go to remove color, drag that down onto my timeline, and this is going to give us the chroma key feature. On the right hand side over here, you can see where it says color, and it comes to green key. So just go to the white, and then now you can adjust different things. So you can see it's not showing through on my lettering, but it is showing through on the bars. One of the things that you can do to adjust that is we can go back over here to the right, and we can adjust the tolerance, and that's going to help it to show through. Because remember, I had that fade, so by adjusting that tolerance, then it's going to adjust so that you can start to see it fading in as the colors fade as well. So it's just a very subtle change that most people probably won't notice, but you will. Now, sometimes that frame, you can notice that frame is not showing up. That background video is not showing up all the way through. So what we want to do is we want to adjust that background video. And so we turn off track number 2, hide it, and lock it in place so that you won't accidentally move your logo around, and just stretch this video out. Stretch the video out to fill up the frame. Again, if it distorts the video clip just a little bit, it's not going to matter too much because it's not going to be highly visible underneath your logo. You're just going to see, you know, bits and pieces of it. So this one was a high enough quality video, it didn't really distort it to stretch it out, but sometimes it might. So once you get that done, now you want to just clip the bottom layer and cut that off and just delete it off of your timeline. Now before we go any further, we also want to make some audio track to go with this. So I've got some music clips that I've already downloaded from the YouTube studio. I'll do another video on how to do that later. But you just want to go into your settings file and import a new clip for your video, for your audio file. That's going to go down here, go to import media, find where you downloaded it, and I had a couple of clips that I downloaded from the YouTube studio that are copyright free music that I can use. You can do whatever kind of sound effects you want on this kind of thing. I'm going to import these and look at them. I can't remember which one I chose. It wasn't this one, I don't think. No, that's not the right sound. So I'm just going to listen to it for a second, and then I'm going to import the one, bring the one that I want. Yeah, that's the one that I want right there. So I'm going to just drag and drop that music clip down onto my timeline. And I'm going to find the last section. I like the ending to be the end of the music clip myself. You can choose whatever part of the music you want for this, but I'm just going to clip off the last few seconds. I only need about a 10-second clip, so I trim it down, figure out where I want to cut it, and we're just going to trim it down a little bit. We're going to place the marker where I want it. I want it to be 10 seconds long, and we're just going to cut it and delete the rest. Now we're going to move this back to our timeline. You can see it's just a little bit longer, but it's okay because I actually had it just, it fades out, so it, the last few seconds are just almost nothing. You can't hear it, so I'm just going to trim it back down. We listen to it, look at the whole thing, and see how it sounds and looks. And everything is looking exactly the way I want it to, and sounding the way I want it to. We can also adjust the volume control just by clicking on that music track on the green lines, and you can raise it or lower it. And I like the way this has turned out. Everything is working exactly the way I want it to, and it's looking really, really sharp. So now we're going to produce the video file. Just go to New Custom Production. Next. We want to make sure we readjust those video settings though. You don't want the highest bit rates and everything, just because really once you've produced this, the higher those bit rates, the bigger your files are going to be. So you don't want it to be too large. I'm going to set it to 128 kilobits. Nope, that's not the bit rate. There we go. Alright. And it's kind of in the middle. So this is how we make our videos with Camtasia Studio. Again, great shout out to Daniel Batal. Thank you guys so much, Daniel, for showing us how to do this kind of intro. I think it's really cool. It's clean, very simple and easy to make. It didn't take very long. For those of you that don't know who Daniel Batal is, check down in the description. I have a link to the video that I learned how to do this from in the description. So check down in the description to find Daniel's video on how he did this in Filmora. But thank you guys so much. Make sure there's a couple of things you want to do as you get into these kind of intros. One, make sure you have a proper video production team. As you can see right here, I have my video production supervisor watching everything I do and making sure I do it properly while I'm editing this clip. Next thing is make sure that you keep it clean and simple. You want to make sure that it's something that's simple and that's going to brand yourself and brand your channel and shows who you are. So that's what you want to do with this little clip. Do it as quickly as you can. Keep it as short and simple as you can. If you want to know more about how to make these kind of intros, make sure you check out this other video here where I go deeper into the ins and outs of video intros, whether you need one, whether or not you should do one, and keep it nice and clean. Check out that video, and it's going to really help you to continue to grow your channel. Let's get on over there, and we'll see you in the next video.